we started the section in Surah Al-Baqarah about the family, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving us details about divorce and the rules and the dynamic that happens in at the time of divorce. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us hudud, the boundaries that sometimes Allah says do not get near it, and sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says do not go beyond it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about these boundaries in such very detailed information. This unit that the whole society is made of, and the whole world is made of this unit, marriage, husband and wife and children. And the deen, our deen, is held up by the human being. If it wasn't for human being, deen will not be on earth. And the human being will continue through offspring of children. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect this unit and protect the offspring. And the rules that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us from in anything, period, it is to keep the deen, to keep the religion, and to keep human being in a sound shape, if you will, to be able to carry the deen for humanity. So this unit is very crucial for the human being to exist on earth in a way that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with, an upright way. So we will go in one verse at a time in it, and we will continue inshaAllah. Faddal, Ibrahim. Do you have the microphone? Or? Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم 229 بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون فإن طلقها فلا تحل له
One verse
at a time. Okay.
Yes.
Divorce may be retracted twice, then the husband must retain with honor or separate with grace. It is not lawful for husbands to take back anything of the dowry given to their wives unless the couple fears not being able to keep within the limits of Allah. So if you keep within the limits of Allah, so if you fear they will not be able to keep within the limits of Allah, there is no blame if the wife compensates the husband to obtain divorce. These are the limits set by Allah, so do not transgress them. And whoever transgresses the limits of Allah, they are the wrongdoers.
No. الطلاق مرتان. طلاق مرتان. Talaq, divorce is twice. So what is the third one? إمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان. The third time now, it is not, it's not going back. The men, when they husbands, sometimes they do use this as a way of pressure on the woman, on the wife, that a way to reprimand the wife. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevents that from happening. Okay. So the first talaq will be given, then there is a period of time to wait. We talked about it last time. And within that time, a husband has the right to bring his wife back without a new contract. But if the time passes and they would like to get back, then a new contract is due. It has to be a new, and she has to agree. And when they go back and a second talaq happens, then the same thing goes on. Exactly the same thing. If he wants to bring her back, he can bring her back without a new contract. But then, if that time passes, okay, then she is divorced, and she cannot come back unless there is an approval and mahr and the whole process from the very beginning. But and during those two times, the wife stays in the household, and she is being provided, from the husband, and the separation is not there, but the divorce is there, but it's not final. But once the second time is over, or if she comes back or he takes her back the second time, if he happened he divorced the third time, then there is no going back by choice here. No, the matter is separated. It is a permanent divorce. And separation now does not have a period. The period now is for the wife. If she wants to get married to somebody else, she has to wait her period. But she cannot go back to her husband. So there is no period between them for her to take her back. The matter is finished. Okay? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the woman the right to give the divorce, or right to ask for the divorce, and which is khula. Okay? And by the way, the once the separation happens, everything that the husband gave the woman is hers. He does not have any right in any dowries or anything that he has given her. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the words here, beautiful words. فَإِمْسَاكٌ بِمَعْرُوفٍ أَوْ تَسْرِيحٌ بِإِحْسَانٍ. Imsak, to hold back, بِمَعْرُوفٍ, to hold meaning to bring her back and so forth, بِمَعْرُوفٍ. What is the word ma'ruf? Ma'ruf, it means that which is known. Literally that which is known. And also ma'ruf, that which is good. So, meaning here is what is the custom? What is what you usually do? What is known to everybody to be good? Okay? So, and tasrih, to let her go, Allah used the word ihsan, meaning let her go in a beautiful way. And it's difficult to do that in the case of divorce. Self-control has to be practiced because it's a lot of emotions that happens that is there during that time. Because divorce is happening for the reason of problems is occurring. and the problems is there, that means they have two, one person on each side is having their own grievousness and so forth. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala encouraged here that when the time to go, you make tasrih with ihsan. In other words, do more than what you have to do, and do it in a beautiful way. Okay? And men generally, they're not as emotional as women. So if a man does not practice sensitivity during that time, then the woman gets harmed so much. And we've seen many cases that abuse was there, and sometimes it is done by willingly, meaning the person is angry and abusing on both sides, and sometimes it just happens because they do not quite understand what the other side is going through, especially if the other side does not articulate well, and especially if one side does not have those that stand by them to take care of them during that period of time and so forth. So, أو تسريح بإحسان. You let go with ihsan in a beautiful way. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us in this. Now, a woman wants a khul'a. A khul'a could be given when a woman asks for it. However, she now for that she pays what she received back to the man. Does the man have to take it? He does not have to take it. He can forego this and let it go. And does the woman have to have an absolute, good reason why she should get divorced? Not necessarily. Okay, but it has to be an acceptable situation, meaning or reasons. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, a woman came to him, said, Ya Rasulullah, I do not say anything bad about my husband. Meaning that he's not abusing her, he's not holding back her rights and so forth, right? So in other words, she does not have a good reason to ask for this. But she said only one sentence. She said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm afraid for myself. Okay? Not from him, from myself. Okay? What did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam understand from that? Understand that she really means that. Okay? And Rasulullah did not ask her what she meant by that. But he sensed her sincerity in this and her honesty in this. And that was good enough. What she meant, what she said, that he is not a handsome man. Okay? Then you can take that now and go on and think about what she means by that. Okay? In other words, she is not satisfied with him. She is not, she's afraid for herself that if she stayed longer, temptation could be there, and so forth. Okay, so there is a hint to that by that word that she used. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took it as measured her sincerity and accepted her statement as such, and asked, and then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to her, what he gave you, he gave me. She said a garden. Then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked her would she be willing to give the garden back? She said yes. Then Rasulullah asked the man that she wants such and grant her the divorce. And Rasulullah, the man said, Ya Rasulullah, I'll give her the divorce and she can keep the garden. That is ihsan. That is ihsan. he can take his mahr back, he can take the garden back. But no, he was an honorable man. Okay, so see how good that man was. Okay, and left that, even though the Rasulullah said you can take it back. That is an example of a woman that wants a divorce and willing to go through it, and the ones that makes this decision would be the judge, the one, that Islamic judge. And if the judge is not available, or there is no Islamic Muslim judges around, then there is the one who's taking care of the matter, the Islamic matter in the communities, we should be able to do this. And in the environment we have here in the West, in the States, the law, the secular law, gives room in this, in the religion, whatever that religion is. Okay, so if when the case is there, the law here, it gives you an opportunity to go to your own judge, if you will. Okay, and try to make up and try to settle the matter, whether it is going back or having the divorce, according to your ways and your rules and regulations. And you agree on it, write it down and sign it and so forth, agree on the matter. And then you go to the secular court, and the secular court will approve it, without just asking both parties, each party, if you signed this with your own power, and you were not coerced in doing this, put pressure to do this, and once the judge is satisfied that this is happening in such ways, then they will grant the divorce. So it is really nice for them to do this. And if the judge has a reservation about the judgment, okay, they can give them counsel by advising the woman that she can actually argue this if she wishes and so forth. In other words, to make sure that she agrees, or to go to the husband and make sure that he agrees. Okay? But do not force him into changing this. Okay? And once they all approve, then it goes through. And you find now the quality of the husband and the wife. Okay? You find their qualities. Okay? Of how a believer they are, what kind of a Muslim they are. Okay? So you have sometimes cases that the wife will evaluate which side that she can get more from. Not which side is right, but which side she can get more from. So if the Islamic judgment will give her less than the court, then she compares the secular court, the secular law with the religious law. Then she would refuse the religious judgment and go to the secular judgment to get more. Okay? And sometimes, you will get, a case. I remember a case did not come to me, but it was with somebody else and some other imams, and they were discussing it with us and so forth. That was very ugly, because the wife now wants more, so she goes to the secular court, and then what happens? Once you go to the secular court, you have to involve lawyers. And once the lawyers are involved, means a lot of money is being spent. And by the time the whole thing is done, because that extra that she was looking to get, it's spent, and even more of the amount that she would have gotten from the Islamic judgment. because there is no barakah in there. Okay? And sometimes they get so much and their life becomes a miserable life because of the wealth that they have. They got it with no right. Okay? And the system here has some justice in it. Okay? For example, sometimes, well, let me tell you that the law, it tells you that the wife will not get the time of marriage, the husband assets and the wife's assets are documented. Meaning it's known. If somebody, if two people got married and she has a house and he has a house, or she has a business, he has a business, and so forth and so on. Or one does not have anything, and the other one, they'll say the woman does not have anything. But the husband is very, very well established, has a business and houses and so forth. Okay. They get married for a couple of years, and the divorce happened. The impression is that the wife will get half and so forth, or most, and that is not true. Okay. There were some case that the wife was under that impression, okay, and she got married for a couple of years, and now, putting her sleeve up, she's going to get, half of this or 3/4 of this and so forth. And the law here is saying that she get from what he earned during the marriage, not before the marriage. Okay, so if he bought a house afterwards, after marriage, or whatever investment and so forth, yes, that would be what will be looked at. But before that, it is not. At least I know it is in the state of Maryland here. Okay, so Allah Subhanahu wa Taala compensates. Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, once the separation happens, Allah will give each from His fadl. Okay? Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will take care of both of them. If they are meaning well, they mean well. And sometimes you find the cases would come, and truly the divorce is needed. Why? Because you find that both of them are miserable. Okay, that just life cannot continue in this, okay? Because of and this is what usually happen if the marriage was a long marriage, and it developed to difficulties, and each one is difficult for them to change, okay, and they try to be good to the other person, but the other person carries things from the past, and dynamic just cannot be dealt with, because sometimes people cannot change. You give advice, and the advice can work, and it works, but with a certain couple will not work. Why? Because they cannot just get themselves to follow the advice, because this is just their personality is not like that. And if they cannot do this, then sometimes both of them are being abused. Abused meaning in so much difficulties that the only solution here would be a divorce. Okay? So yes, a divorce is recommended in some cases. Okay? And usually when it is like that, usually the divorce is easy, because both sides, they don't want to abuse the other one. They just want one out. You find it very easy to agree with things, and the matter would be done. So this is the boundary that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has warned us not to go beyond these boundaries. Faddal Akhuna Ibrahim.
How much is the period between, say, first divorce? How much period they have to wait?
How much what?
How much time period, like you say, if you give first divorce, they have to wait?
Yeah, 3 menses.
3 months.
or 3 purifications. We talked about it last week.
Okay.
Yeah, three menses or 3 purifications.
Okay.
So if you count it as a purification, the time will be a little bit longer.
Okay.
If you count the 3 menses, it will be less, a little less. But 3 periods, yes.
And second one also 3.
3 periods.
But in third one, then it is.
This is not because she's not coming back anyway. But 3 periods for her to be eligible to get married to somebody else.
Okay.
Yes.
In this secular law here, when they divorce, they have to wait for 1 year, I think.
It used to be that in Maryland, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
No. I know that the last time I checked with a case that came, they didn't have to do this.
Okay.
So long that there is an agreement.
Okay. Yes.
So there is an agreement. But it used to be, yes, they have to be separated for a year. Yes. So long there is an agreement, and they go, then the court will accept this.
As for the Muslims or for anybody?
For anybody.
For anybody.
Yeah.
But Muslim can go to our own, as you're explaining here, allow.
Yes, and once there is a paper that is signed and notarized and all of that, okay, then the court will accept it. Unless there is something fishy about it, or something, that the judge thinks that there is a pressure that was given or put on one or the other, then they will recommend counseling. They will, talk and make sure that did this really agree and maybe tell them there is a possibility you can get more or do this and that, right? Just to make sure that they are happy with this, each party. But then at the end, they can approve it, yes.
For the property, because I think in their law they distribute 50%.
Whatever they agree, whatever they agree on, yes, yes.
Sheikh, what is the confusion between the calling, like first talaq, the second one, calling thrice, like talaq? What is that? Is it?
Okay, yeah.
It's the most big understanding. In India, there is a whole case went for 50 years, and now secular government has given a judgment on that person cannot give the talaq once, otherwise he will be in jail.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, he can give it once, but 3 at one time, but they will count it once if they want. So don't put him in jail, just count it once.
Government, by the government, it was a Muslim lady who filed this case, and this case went for 50 years. Sarah or some case.
You cannot give, can you give 3 talaq at once? Like the way
Well,
one
okay,
talaq-
this is
It all depends on the period, right? As soon as the period comes,
Yeah.
even if you do once, it's done. Like, the period you said.
but the question is that three talaq in one sitting, is it considered 1 or considered 3? Okay. Now, all the schools of thought saying it's considered 3. Okay, but look at this to show you the fiqh. Okay, the one who said no, it is once, is Imam Ibn Taymiyyah rahmahullah. Okay, and he has his reason in that, and he stood on this and gave his reasons, and if you divorce your wife once, okay, and then you want to divorce her again, but she's not your wife to divorce her again, right?
Once it's done.
Okay.
You already gave it.
So, yeah, I already give it. So that's once. So if you say it 100 times, it's just once. And other reasons and so forth, right? So the interesting thing here is, in the application of this, eventually, most of the scholars after him took his opinion. So now, you can call it a minor opinion, but it is taken to become now a major practice in most of the Islamic courts. So most of the Muslim courts now You saying that if you say divorce 3 times in one sitting is considered once. Okay? Okay, so you can, there is an opinion here and there. But myself, no, it's only once. We go by that. Huh?
Who's the ex-husband? Taymiyah.
Ibn Taymiyyah, rahmahullah.
As if you have to wait for 3 menses after
Yes.
one.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense if you give 3 at once, because you have to wait for after 1, 3 menses.
Yes.
That makes
Yes. Yes.
According to all the 4 imams, if you utter 3 times, the divorce takes place, and it's mughallaza.